We interrupt this program for an ABC 11 Eyewitness News Accuweather alert.
Hi, everybody. I'm meteorologist Chris Holman. We do have a tornado warning in effect now for Granville County. Let's go to First Alert Doppler XP, show you what's going on with this. This tornado warning in effect for central Granville County. It's in effect now until 3:15. Doppler radar indicated a tornado 5 miles southwest of Berea or 12 miles west of parts of Granville County, 12 miles to the west of Oxford, moving towards the northeast at 30 miles per hour. So Berea, Oxford, Stovall, those are the areas under the gun. You want to take cover immediately. That's a tornado warning in effect now for central Granville County until 3:15. Now, on radar, as we look at this, we show you the velocity. You see, it doesn't look all that impressive on radar on our traditional display there. Just looks like some showers across the region. But as we zoom in a bit and put on some of the areas here with the velocity, you'll be able to see this area right here where the greens and the reds come together just to the southwest of Berea. That could be some rotation, at least aloft. It's not been confirmed on the ground, but aloft. So this is the area here where there could be a potential tornado on the ground. So that's why the tornado warning is in effect, or at least the tornado could be going on the ground. It's at least some rotation in the air. So this tornado warning in effect now for central sections of Granville County. That's in effect until 3:15 for these areas. We'll pull back the view. If you're in this area, remember, you want to take cover immediately just to be on the safe side in case there is a tornado on the ground. No other tornado warnings in effect. There have been some severe thunderstorm warnings during the course of the day, but this is the region here now where at least some rotation has been indicated. So let's zoom in once again. We'll show you some of the roads around the region here. It's a fairly rural area of parts of Granville County, but certainly some folks in the path of this that moves off towards the northeast. Not a whole lot of roadways there, but as we get really close, this is where we have at least some potential for a rotation here in this area. So this is some of the streets around this region. We'll put them on here, show you where Mariah Road here in Granville County, also Range Road, some of the areas impacted, Community Road also. That's the spots. These are the areas. Again, this part of Granville County. Tornado warning in effect until 3:15. As we put back the view, widespread showers, a few thunderstorms across the region now. A line of showers and thunderstorms rolling into the triangle, actually into Wake County as well. So these areas too. No warnings with these, but wouldn't be surprised if at least a severe thunderstorm warning is issued with these storms. A fairly solid line of thunderstorms as this strong cold front makes its way into the region. So heavy rainfall, some cloud-to-ground lightning in these areas across western Wake County down to the south into Cumberland County. No warnings with that. Just this one tornado warning that's in effect for a fairly small area. Much of Granville County includes Oxford almost to Oak Hill. Not a really impressive shower, but some rotation indicated. You see on just the radar display, this making its way pretty quickly off to the northeast. These little cells can ramp up fairly quickly. This is the first tornado warning we've had of the day across the region, but at least showing some rotation there. No reports of a tornado on the ground, but as we look at this velocity in here, this is the area where you see these greens and reds coming together. If you followed us through the years, you know that means that that's a sign that there is some rotation, at least aloft, not necessarily on the ground, but it means that the wind is going away from and towards the radar site in a fairly small area, and that's why the National Weather Service issued that. Could mean that the rotation makes its way towards the ground. So if you're around Berea, Oxford, those areas, and also Stovall, go ahead, take cover. Remember, the safest place to be, the lowest floor of an interior room, hall closet, bathroom, anything in the middle of the house that puts as much as many walls between you and, that's George Sherman Road there, between you and the potential storm as possible. You notice as we lapse this, you see the rotation really ramping up fairly quickly, and it could go away very quickly too, and the tornado warning canceled a little sooner than 3:15, but it's in effect now until 3:15 for that area. That's the only warning in effect. We're all under a tornado watch that's in effect until 5 o'clock for central and eastern North Carolina. And once this goes through, I think this is pretty much the end of the severe weather threat. This is the back line or back edge here of the showers and the storms that have some really heavy rainfall. As this advances its way towards the east pretty quickly, I think by 6, 7 o'clock, the threat of severe weather will be diminishing rapidly as it pulls on out of the area. We'll still have a few showers later on tonight. If you're just joining us, though, we are covering now a tornado warning in effect for central sections of Granville County. It's in effect until 3:15, next half hour or so. Not a real intense thunderstorm, and there's not a lot of lightning with this thunderstorm, at least cloud-to-ground lightning. As you can see on this view here, we don't have too many cloud-to-ground strikes. There are some to the south, but in this time of year, you get to where there isn't a lot of lightning in some of these storms, but they can still have rotation, still have damaging winds. Again, there's Oxford there in Granville County. There's Berea, and we'll try to track again our tornado. It's just getting into that area of the warning. This is the spot here. It doesn't look real impressive. Not a lot of really heavy rotation, but there's some at least indicated by radar. So there's the latest picture just popping up, and it's hard to see now where that rotation is. It could be a really quick spin up that caused some rotation aloft and then went away very quickly. But still, that tornado warning just issued, so it's going to stay in effect for just a little bit longer. Again, that tornado warning till 3:15. We also have these strong thunderstorms. Here's a special weather statement from the National Weather Service in Raleigh. As we pull back the view once again, you can see all the other activity. Heavy showers and thunderstorms rolling into the triangle, and these thunderstorms moving across Harnett, Johnston, Cumberland counties through 345. The line of storms all the way down to Fort Bragg, actually, moving towards the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So anywhere in these areas around the triangle, Bahama, Durham, Cary, Raleigh, Wake Forest, Fuquay Arena, back to the south we go into Cumberland County around Fayetteville. Heavy rainfall, cloud-to-ground lightning. There are cloud-to-ground lightning strikes there, especially here in western Wake County, and gusty winds 40 to 50 miles per hour. Heavy rain could cause some minor flooding too. Really coming down now. Morrisville, Cary to Apex to Holly Springs. Look at these rainfall rates as we put that on. Notice as we put on some of these rainfall rates, 1.5 to 2 inches per hour. It's moving along pretty quickly, so you won't get that much rain, at least from that particular cell, but it could drop a quick 1/2 inch to 1 inch in some spots as it continues making its way towards the east. And this will be moving through the rest of the triangle over the next several hours, and you see that heavy rain rate down to the south. Of greatest concern, of course, our tornado warning that's in effect now for central Granville County. It's the only tornado warning we've had all day, thank goodness, even though we're under a tornado watch. And here as we zoom into the area again, I really can't find the rotation anymore, and it's maybe a sign that the system is weakened as it pushes to the northeast. But you see just on the radar display a heavy shower approaching Oxford up to the north in Granville County, but nothing really if you just look at this by itself, you don't really say, wow, that's a really intense thunderstorm. But this type of atmosphere where the instability is not all that great, but the shear, the changing of wind with direction and also speed with height. The wind changes with direction as you go up, and also the speed changes. That causes shear, and sometimes that can cause thunderstorm cells to start to rotate, and that's what we saw earlier in this area. But really hard to find now really any real rotation for these regions, Berea to Oxford to down to Belltown. But that's where the area, at least that's under the tornado warning. So if you're anywhere in this spot, you want to go ahead and take cover just to be on the safe side until the all clear is given, all the way up into northern parts of Granville County, all the way up almost to the North Carolina, Virginia border, I should say. So that tornado warning in effect until 3:15 for these areas. Again, I don't see a whole lot of rotation though with this, so it's hard to really track this particular cell when you don't see the rotation on it. Still the tornado warning in effect. Widespread showers, thunderstorms across the region now. Got a break along the I-95 corridor for the moment, but around the triangle, it's going to be a rough commute for many folks, especially the next couple of hours through about 5:30. Kids getting out of school, a pretty tough go of it too to get on the bus and get home as these heavy rainfall rates now and heavy thunderstorms push across western Wake County. You see around Cary, Apex, Holly Springs, very heavy rain in these suburban areas of Wake County right now. Some cloud-to-ground lightning too. This is tracking to the east, northeast at about 40 miles an hour, moving very quickly now across the region. There you see the latest view as we elapse this, pushing into West Raleigh. So this will be getting into the city of Raleigh around, say, Interstate 540 and 440 into western Wake County very shortly now. It's actually right around 540 heading for the Beltline and inside the Beltline areas of Raleigh too. So there is the wide view once again. Widespread showers and storms approaching, moving through the region. Tornado warning still in effect here for parts of Granville County. Generally north of Creedmoor, Oxford up to about Oak Hill, those areas. That's where the tornado warning in effect until 3:15, next say 20-25 minutes or so, unless it gets canceled early. Once again, we were tracking this rotation. As we lapse this, you'll be able to see what we're talking about. Look for where the greens and the reds come together. That's where we think there was at least some rotation with this as it moved to the east. There you see it pushing right in this area here. Not much left of it. If there is any rotation, it's a little bit to the east of Berea, the way it looks now, as it presses this, moving pretty quickly, 40 miles per hour. So it's not going to be the storm in any one spot for too long. This is some of the roadways in this area. That's Gooch Mill Road. Also down here to the south, this area is, so let me check this here. This roadway across parts of Granville, that's Tommy Daniel Road. So these are some of the areas in a fairly rural part of Granville County. Enon Road, this area right along south of Highway 158. Particular concern, even though it's really pretty tough now to see any real rotation with this. There's where the outline of the tornado warning is in effect right now across these areas of Granville County. Haven't had any reports of any damage so far today from any of the storms across the region. There have been a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, but as we put on the view of all of the storm reports, there aren't any across central and eastern North Carolina. That's some good news. Had several tornado warnings today under that tornado watch, but again, no reports of any damage, no wind damage, no reports of any significant flooding, even though the rainfall rates are really very high. Again, this is the wide view here of central parts of the state with showers, thunderstorms rolling into the region right now. The only warning, though, is for this one right here into parts of Granville County that the National Weather Service issued just moments ago. Technically, this severe tornado warning in effect until 3:15 for this area around Oxford, Henderson. The tornado warning it was issued just moments ago because of a apparent tornado that was about 12 miles west of Oxford, or at least a tornado indicated by radar, some rotation aloft. That was about 12 miles west of Oxford or 5 miles southwest of Berea, moving northeast at 30 to 35 miles per hour. And the areas located were the ones Berea, Oxford, Stovall that we mentioned earlier. Here's again a look at that, though, the tornado warning in effect for these areas. So even if you're, this area up towards Bullock, probably not necessarily in a great harm's way, but you want to go ahead, take cover anywhere in this hatched out area. That's where the tornado warning is in effect. It's the only warning we have right now. And again, the rotation very weak right now. In the last shot, we look at this, and as we lapse it, we see that there isn't a whole lot of rotation that we can see across this area right now. So no reports of any damage. We've talked to 911, Granville County 911. No reports of damage nor any tornado sightings. That's great news. This was, again, indicated by radar. That is the great thing, and also the drawback to Doppler radars is that they can detect rotation aloft. And the old radars years ago could not do that. The ones now can, but many times rotation aloft never makes it to the ground. But there's no way to know that for sure, so the National Weather Service always has to issue a tornado warning based on rotation aloft that's indicated by radar. Many times it never makes it to the ground. There's never a funnel cloud. Nobody sees anything, and it's considered a false alarm. But when they do hit the ground, it can happen very suddenly if they do touch down, and that can happen without any warning. So that's why a lot of times you get these warnings and nothing necessarily happens, because the rotation is detected aloft. Okay, back to radar we go. If you're just joining us again, there's tornado warning. It's been a little bit for this area. You see that sort of went away there for western parts of Granville County, but still in effect here for this part of Granville County from Oxford to the north towards Stovall. Again, the tornado warning in effect, even though I really can't find any real significant rotation here. Anywhere in that hatched area, you want to go ahead and take cover. The meat of the storm, if you will, is pretty much over Oxford right now, a little bit north of town, northern parts of town, and making its way to the northeast at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So you're going to get some brief heavy rain, some cloud-to-ground lightning, perhaps some gusty winds. If there is a tornado, it's a very small one, and probably won't last too long. A weak tornado still can do quite a bit of damage. Remember, safest place to be, the lowest floor, interior room, the middle of the house, anywhere in the middle of the house where you can find a closet or a bathroom, anything that puts as many walls between you and the storm outside as possible is the safest place to be. If you have a basement, go to that, cover your head, and just ride out the storm. Again, it's moving on pretty quickly, so I don't think this threat's going to last. The tornado threat is fairly isolated. Doesn't look like we're going to see a big outbreak of tornadoes at all across the region. The main threat will be damaging winds. Now, we do have a new warning here for these thunderstorms we talked about across parts of Wake County. If we can take the radar full, I'll pull the warning out, and you'll be able to see exactly where it is there across much of central southern Wake County into Harnett County. That severe thunderstorm warning in effect for those areas includes Cary, Garner, Raleigh, down to Lillington. Line of thunderstorms. Main threat with this would be damaging winds in excess of 58 miles per hour. Hail threat is pretty small today. So this severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the southern 2/3 of Wake County, western Johnston County, and all of Harnett County. This severe thunderstorm warning in effect now for these areas. And really, it looks like the most intense part of the storm is closing in on Raleigh right now. It's over West Raleigh, over Cary, torrential downpours there across those regions. And if we can, while we're got that radar up, I'm going to turn on our Weather 7, and we'll go to RDU Airport. And if we can take that, if we can take Weather 7 full, you can see the airport there, 74 degrees now and 1/3 of an inch of rain. The rain's coming down at a pretty good clip there at Raleigh-Durham International Airport. It doesn't look like the wind's gusting too high, but the airport's back towards Morrisville, and the heaviest part of the storm is a little bit east of there right now. I'm going to switch the view if I can add that. I'm going to go over and put in, we'll actually take you down to Fayetteville first, then we'll go back to radar and reload this. You can see from a top Husk hardware, much calmer conditions there in Fayetteville, although it is a bit breezy from the southwest. Okay, let's go back over to Weather 3, and we'll reload the cameras and show you North Hills. But that's where that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect now for those areas of Wake County into Johnston County, and also parts of all of Harnett County, I should say. That's in effect, that severe thunderstorm warning. Now we got North Hills. We'll show you that. That thunderstorm is closing in on that part of North Raleigh right now. If we can go back over to Weather 7, I think it should be up there, like North Hills. The very heavy rainfall. You can see that ominous looking clouds there approaching from the west. Not a lot of rain there right now, but rain will be increasing very shortly because the thunderstorm is just west of there. So you want to just stay indoors until these storms pass. If you can, just again, take it. If you have any plans this evening, just wait a few hours. The threat of severe weather should be diminishing greatly over the next several hours across the region, and things will be quieting down this evening, and the threat of heavy rain even will be ending as well. Back to First Alert Doppler XP. If you're just joining us, the tornado warning still in effect here until 3:15 for parts of Granville County, mainly from Oxford to the north right now. The tornado warning in effect until 3:15 for those areas. Still no reports of any damage, no reports of any tornado on the ground. As we look towards the velocity here, again, we look for the greens and the reds to come together. That's showing where there's rotation, where the winds are coming away from and going towards the radar side. And if you've been with us when we've had these tornado outbreaks in the past, they're very easy to see. And if we lapse this, you can see it there. If you keep your eye right here to the west of Oxford in this region, as we lapse this, you'll see a little patch of green going by. I think that's what the warning was issued based upon, but I can't really find that now, so I don't really see any rotation to track for you at the moment across the region. But this part of Granville County, these are some of the wind gusts aloft, if you will, and you see they're fairly high, up to 35, 40 miles per hour, and some of that could be even higher as you get towards the ground. But certainly there is quite a bit of wind shear, and that has created at least the threat for some tornadoes during the course of the afternoon hours. Don't see much in the way of that right now in terms of any damage, any reports of any tornado on the ground whatsoever in Granville County. We do have the severe thunderstorm warning as we show the view here once again. Central parts of central 2/3 or southern 2/3 of Wake County into western sections of Harnett County, or all of Harnett County, western Johnston County. That severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for those areas as this line of storms moves through. Main threat, damaging winds across the region. You can see very heavy rain now approaching parts of Raleigh into the city now and up towards Interstate. Some cloud to ground lightning as well. This area is moving to the east at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. So very heavy rain will really slow you down on the freeways. It can throw the visibility down to half a mile or less in some of these heavier downpours. Look at these rain rates we have across portions of Wake County. This picture is a little bit old as this moves on to the east. You see, though, the rain rates at about 2 inches per hour. So certainly quite a bit of heavy rain that could cause at least some minor flooding. Wouldn't be surprised if at least a flood advisory is issued for those areas of parts of Wake County. When that heavy rain gets into a very urban area with a lot of concrete, a lot of drainage, you can get flooding issues very quickly that you don't have in the rural areas, obviously. So again, it could be a flood advisory, or at least a flood issue for some of those areas of Wake County as we head through the next, say, half hour, 45 minutes. If we go over to Weather 1, you can see where the tornado watch is in effect now until 5 o'clock for all of central North Carolina. That tornado watch in effect. Let's see if we got it in there. I was just looking. I don't see the tornado warning in there for sections of Granville County. and just making sure it hasn't been canceled. So keep your eye on that for just a moment. We're going to double check our warnings as they come in to the system here. But that tornado warning technically, actually, there it is. I thought so. It looks like they canceled the warning. That's official. The tornado warning for Granville County is canceled. The storm has weakened, and the warning is no longer in effect. So again, the tornado warning no longer in effect. There it goes off our radar display too. So if we'll go over to Weather 3, we'll show you Doppler XP. No tornado warning in effect. Remember, we talked about we couldn't find the rotation, couldn't find any real significant rotation aloft, and National Weather Service obviously couldn't either, so they canceled the tornado warning. No reports of any tornadoes on the ground and no reports of any damage, but that tornado warning canceled. We do have still the severe thunderstorm warning, though, for much of Wake County, into western sections of Harnett County, all of Harnett County, and western Johnston County. That severe thunderstorm warning in effect. And very heavy rain, again, through much of Wake County. So you want to take it easy, maybe just stay indoors and wait a while until these storms pass. Things will quiet down in just a little bit. Larry?
Chris, as you can imagine, the roads are pretty bad right now. We have been monitoring a number of DOT cameras up and down the interstate highways, and we have a pretty bad situation on Interstate 85 north of Durham. Now, this is backing up toward Granville County. What we have is a multi-vehicle wreck between Glen School Road and Red Mill Road on Interstate 85 southbound. What you're looking at there is the traffic that is backing up toward Creedmoor. It isn't reaching Creedmoor yet, but the information that we have is that multiple vehicles are involved. There are injuries. Now, this is the area that Chris was talking about earlier. In the Berea area, there is no information on any kind of tornado damage in that area, but as you can see, the effects of what has been going on is being demonstrated right there. This is information, or this is a picture right now that you're seeing is Interstate 85 southbound. So we're going to keep monitoring this situation. We don't have any more information, Chris, on just what is involved in this accident other than the fact that there are personal injuries involved. We are efforting to get more information on that wreck right now, and we will bring that to you as soon as we can. Chris, we'll take it back to you for the very latest on what's going on up there.
Okay, Larry, thanks. Yeah, good news. Tornado warning for Granville County has been canceled. We talked about that. We saw the rotation briefly, then it went away on our radar display, and we talked about that being a good sign that there really was no tornado, no real big tornado threat. National Weather Service also saw that, and they canceled the tornado warning. So the only warnings we have now, and that's in effect until 3:45 for southern two-thirds of Wake County, western sections of Johnston County, and all of Harnett County. And the strongest activity is right over the highly populated Wake County, right over the city of Raleigh, stretching up towards Wake Forest and then down to Garner, Holly Springs, those areas. Gusty winds, possibly up to 58 miles per hour, the main threat with this, but also the threat of at least some minor flooding, because very heavy rains over a highly urban area in a short amount of time can cause some quick flooding, especially in poor drainage areas. So you want to be alert to that. Remember, it only takes about 12 to 18 inches of water, moving water, to float a car. And many times that doesn't look all that high, but it can float a car and carry you away, and you lose, obviously, complete control of the car. So the National Weather Service has a saying that's an easy one to remember: turn around, don't drown. You can always go back later, just in case there is any flooding. But again, we have on the wide view of our radar, not a lot in terms of severe weather besides that warning. We had that one tornado warning. It's not impossible. There's another quick spin up as we head through the course of the next couple of hours. But notice that back edge of rainfall is right here approaching Chapel Hill into Alamance County. And I think once that goes by, that's the end of the threat of severe weather. You see from Greensboro to the west, there's not much going on. This will be in and out of the region hours. Certainly by 6:30, I think we should be in the clear. And the tornado watch, which is in effect until 5 o'clock, will probably expire without any problem as well. If we can go over to Weather 1, we'll just run through the quick weather for you and show you what's going on. There's that tornado watch. It's in effect until 5 o'clock this afternoon. There's the severe thunderstorm warning for the southern two-thirds of Wake County, western Johnston County, and all of Harnett County. And that threat of severe weather will make its way eastward towards the coast over the next several hours. So that tornado watch still in effect. There's again a live look at First Alert Doppler XP with its 1 million watts of power scanning the skies. We're right in the thick of it now, but this will be moving out as we head through the next several hours, and things will be improving across the region a great deal as we get back to some more typical normal weather, which is 82 and 62. A nice treat coming up as we head through the next several days. We're going to see our temperatures going back down. It's a very warm 73 now, humidity at 93% with a southwest wind at 13. Temperatures low and mid 70s, got up to about 80, 82 today before the showers and storms will be diminishing later on this afternoon into the evening. A little cooler tonight, low and mid 60s for overnight lows. Here's our Accuweather Predictor forecast model with these showers and storms now across the region. And notice as we head into the evening hours, everything begins to move out. We'll have some leftover clouds tomorrow, especially the further east you are, along and east of Interstate 95. There will be more clouds around during the course of the day, but it'll be cooler, less humid, no threat of any rain to speak of. The front's off the coast. It's causing this severe weather, and high pressure builds in. So a partly sunny, cooler day. That high still in control as we head into Thursday. Some high clouds around. This front gets just off the coast and stalls, so moisture will linger in terms of cloud cover from time to time tomorrow into Thursday, but there won't be any rain around to speak of. It's going to be really nice. Look at these high temperatures as we work our way into the next couple of days. Tomorrow, only low and mid 70s, and humidity levels back down. Let's go back over to Weather 1 and First Alert Doppler XP. If you're just joining us, there was a tornado warning that was in effect for Granville County, but it has expired. And the only warning we have now is a severe thunderstorm warning for the southern two-thirds of Wake County, western sections of Johnston County, and all of Harnett County. The mild sort of a tornado, but that, or at least reduced any for some very heavy rainfall across the area, and also a bit of wind damage as well, potentially the next several hours. But we'll keep an eye on this. Of course, the Eyewitness News will begin at 4 o'clock. Showers and storms rolling through the area now. The threat of the tornado has diminished in Granville County. No tornado warning in effect. That watch, though, until 5 will break in if any other tornado warnings are issued. But for now, we take you to Katie.